I think the funniest thing all season was how the general public could not make their minds up about the Kendall Graveman-Abraham-Toro trade. In the beginning, everyone was like, oh my gosh, the Astros are fleecing. They just got a sub 1 ERA pitcher for a dude who can't even hit or whatever. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Abraham Toro caught fire. He had a 150 weighted runs created plus in his first 28 games as a Mariner. And the general public was like, okay, this is looking good for both teams. Until suddenly, Abraham Toro hit that. You didn't think I was actually going to show that, did you? Like, no. And after that, the general public kind of flip-flopped. They're like, Mariners fleeced, especially with Abraham Toro having like 6 more years of team control or 5 more years. And Graveman was a free agent this year. But then Abraham Toro just stopped whatever he was doing. I don't know what happened, but he ended the season with a 99 weighted runs created plus as a Mariner. So even though it's just by a little bit, Abraham Toro as a Mariner was a below average hitter. And then we talk about defense. Abraham Toro was actually pretty good on defense as an Astro. He had a +1 out above average in 2021 as an Astro, +4 in 2019. So he has the skills. But then, ever since moving to the Mariners, maybe it's because he moved to second base, he had a -6 outs above average. So he went from being a just above average fielder to a really below average fielder. I don't know what happened. And then let's talk about Graveman, obviously. He had a 2.96 skill interactive ERA, which is very good as a Mariner. And then he had a 3.74 skill interactive ERA as an Astro. So, you know, in terms of perceived value, Abraham Toro did better as a Mariner than as an Astro, and so did Kendall Graveman. So, you know, the Astros may not have gotten as much as, you know, they thought they were going to get, but in terms of like value in general or talent in general, Abraham Toro was a below average fielder and a below average hitter as a Mariner. Graveman, you know, he's not as good as he was as a Mariner, but he's still an above average reliever as an Astro. So I don't know what the mix-up is there. And the Mariners have had 15 blown saves since the trade. That's the third most since the trade. And they fell short of a playoff spot by 3 games. They were 2 games behind, but then 3 games to actually have a spot. So, and the Astros had Breggy back, so Toro had really no spot there.